How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, Faze Crypto. Today is, of course, July 21st, 2019, and we have been seeing some very interesting technical indicators as far as where we're going to be seeing Bitcoin headed in the near future and where the long range is going to be headed. And I'd say we're going to see some pretty good news for the altcoins, and which is why I like to dedicate these videos towards what I call baby Bitcoins. And of course, while we're seeing blockchain really dominating the news, I think that it's somewhat interesting to talk about these altcoins because I like to be ahead of the curve. I sort of pride the content on this channel as being ahead of the curve, sort of talking about things before they hit the mainstream. And while we've been seeing some very interesting things happening, it's definitely interesting to see how cryptocurrency has been sort of taking its dominant role now in the media cycle as it's sort of become more of a politicized issue. And this is sort of par for the course. We knew this was going to happen, and now I think that it's important to move forward from this point. And Holochain, I would say, is a vision of the future when we want to talk about a vision of the internet that's more peer-to-peer, gives the individual more control over their own data. And I suppose in the age of something like Libra coin, it's almost a wet dream, almost a sort of a pipe dream to imagine that people could have this level of control over their own data. And I would like to just start this video off by emphasizing that if we're going to achieve this more human internet, we're going to have to see the public choose it for themselves. It's not going to just be handed over to people. It's really the importance of this stuff is, it's monumental, but it's pretty much all dependent upon the choices that are going to be made by the greater cryptocurrency community, which is why I think that it's important to spread awareness that there are projects out there like Holochain, like the ones that we talk about pretty regularly on this channel. And this is one of the reasons why I think that Holochain has a lot of interesting components. And has Libra looked at some of the technologies of Holochain and how they can be integrated and utilized in Libra? I would say they've definitely looked at Holochain, but I'm fairly certain that Libra wants to move in a different direction. We've sort of seen plenty of people out there who've spoken about the Libra coin, and when you do your research, you could really kind of tell how it goes hand in hand with what we've come to expect from Facebook, what we've come to expect from a lot of these different big data data gathering sort of components. And something that's more Bitcoin leaning is in terms of its functionality is sort of on the other side of the aisle at this point from Libra. I think that this is sort of the utmost importance to highlight some of the things that have been happening with Holochain and what we can expect to go on while we're witnessing a lot of these different things. And right here, definitely pretty interesting. This crypto rankings, and we actually saw Holochain coming in at I believe it was the 25th position on here. And definitely interesting to see Holochain getting that sort of attention, from which I believe that is well received as far as the overall things that are concerned. But definitely, we want to talk about adoption. Certainly is weak, but the technology aspect of it, the potential that we're seeing, is very important. And of course, while we are in the beginning stages of a cryptocurrency paradigm shift, we do have to give significant attention to a lot of these different projects that have the potential to change the field, really change the overall way that people perceive the conversation that's happening. And I would say that Holochain is a catalyst for that same mechanism and that same opportunity. I mean, of course, in the coin market cap, we don't see Holochain coming up. I mean, at that higher ranking, but still, I mean, I'd say as these things continue to move forward, I mean, number 44 position, like I've said before, I mean, I think that any crypto in the top 100 stands to see a pretty interesting level of attention given to it. When we want to talk about Holochain, though, we really need to talk about adoption. We need to talk about the conversation centered around adoption and where these different things. I mean, when we actually get more levels of it, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly the tides can actually turn. Of course, Ethereum co-founder Joseph Lubin is being sued for $13 million. Definitely interesting. Of course, news article I know a lot of you wanted me to at least pull up. And I think as we see the space continue to, of course, develop, and when we actually are witnessing a lot of these different things, I mean, in particular, the situation that's been happening with Libra, and of course, the greater cryptocurrency sphere. I mean, it is interesting to see how every single day more and more things are being advanced forward in the cryptocurrency space, and I'm interested in seeing how Libra is actually going to be able to really get itself up and running. But INT Foundation released its new China technology roadmap. Definitely interesting. The first stage is chaos. INT was established in the chaos, which gave birth to all the basics of INT chain ecosystem. The chain 1.0. Definitely interesting. And I mean, we'll see how Holochain manages to capitalize on a lot of these different aspects of the shifting paradigm that we're seeing happening. The paradigm shift that's right on the horizon. But I'm an advocate of giving people control of their own identity. I think that this is something that people want. I think that this is sort of if we see, the actual, our dreams coming true, the internet would function in this way. And I think that the people would choose it if given the proper education, in regards to all these different aspects, notwithstanding. So, I mean, especially while we've been seeing blockchain making a lot of headlines, and we've been seeing, cryptocurrency and the greater Bitcoin conversation coming to a full front and center, I think that it is important to talk about Holochain. I'm excited that I've been able to, be able to make these videos and talk about, sharing all this information, sharing my opinions, and listening to yours as well. So, of course, if you guys are interested, you guys can connect with us on our Twitter. Now, that's, of course, at CryptoTuber on Twitter. Always interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Of course, this content is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Now, remember, this video is not financial advice. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your dad. But, of course, always interested in hearing what your opinions are. But, yeah, I do have I do see Holochain in higher regard as far as the potential that we do, that I can, at least from my perspective, see brewing in terms of where we can expect to see Holochain moving forward, with the future. And of course, I mean, it will be very interesting to see how a lot of these different things shape up. But I would say in the long term, we want to talk about the potential for altcoin season, the potential that's brewing, especially, I mean, we have to see more money pumped into the market, but long term, there's no doubt in my mind as far as the potential that this space has to offer. And I think that reality is growing more and more of in the minds of the powers that be, and sort of becoming more and more difficult to ignore for multiple reasons that seem all too relevant now. So, of course, definitely some important points, I would say. And, I hope that you guys have found this video informative and found some of these different news items important. I found them necessary to bring forward, make some of these points, put them out there for you guys. But I mean, we'll see where Bitcoin continues to go from this point moving forward. It is very exciting to see how the space has been able to go from the basement to the White House, so to speak, in such a short amount of time. And I suppose we will see where the space takes us from this point forward. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Make sure that you guys subscribe, and of course comment down below letting us know what you think. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.